Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody, depending from which part of the world you are. I am Dirk Coetzee. If you're uncomfortable in pronouncing that name, you can call me DC, and I'm the Performance Director of the OKR Institute. Tonight, very excited to have all of you because we will be exploring the fusion of AI with strategic planning, as well as OKR setting and execution. We are proud to have two OKR Institute team members presenting tonight. First of all, Akmal Akbar. He has a background and was trained as a software engineer. He started his career at Intel as a software engineer. He moved on to the World Health Organization to build their employee performance platform. He left the World Health Organization in 2015 and started several venture-backed companies, including the OKR Institute. In 2019, he co-founded an AI education tech company called Pandai. Akmal, I believe Pandai means smart, right? And Pandai received investment from Y Combinator, the largest accelerator in the world. That was just highlights of his CV. If I had to read out his whole CV, it would take up the whole hour. So with that, over to Akmal.
All right, thank you, Dirk. Thank you, DC. So, welcome everyone. So let me share my screen. If a second. I hope you'll be able to see my screen. So yeah, for the next 20 minutes, I will be talking about how to use AI to draft effective outcome-driven OKR. So that is the title of the topic, the discussion that we have today. Is a mouthful, but I highlighted the two main topics here, AI and also OKR. So this is the gist of what I'll be talking about today. So let's dive in. Okay. So there are three main topics that I want to cover today. The first one is a bit introduction on AI. So we're talking set the groundwork of AI. So before we dive deep into detail, we talk about some of terminology used, how the AI works. So it can be a like groundwork before we go further on the topics. The second part, I will talk more specifically on the strategic planning in AI, because since OKR is massively about strategic planning, so I will cover how AI can help us plan a better strategy. And last, I'll be talking a bit more technical with a bit more demo, specifically on AI prompting and how we can use AI prompt to draft a good OKR. So, like DC mentioned just now, I'm Akmal, your mentor for today. I started my career in Intel as a software engineer. So that is where I first start to learn about OKR. Even though it was not called OKR, then it called Managed by Objective. But that's how I train and fall in love in OKR. And since then, I've been using OKR in all my companies, all my projects. So then I left Intel to work in World Health Organizations, building their employee management performance systems. So that's also where I fall in love into like developing employee performance using OKR, using tools, automation and such. And then since then, I left WHO to founded several companies, one of them including OKR Institute. And 2021, I founded an AI edtech companies called Pandai. It's a play word of AI. Pandai in Malay language means clever, as DC mentioned just now. And we are lucky to get accepted to Y Combinator. And since then, we've been growing very fast. So AI and OKR are two of my biggest passion. And today I'm very excited to share AI and also OKR in this webinar. Like I mentioned, OKR and AI to my patients. I build my companies around these two. So there's always have the component of OKR and AI in everything that I build. So, but today I'm not to talk about OKR because most of you already know what's OKR. You already implement OKR. Today I want to be more specific on AI part and how we can use AI to improve our OKR strategy. So why only now we talk about AI? So basically because of slightly over a year ago, Greg Brockman, the president of OpenAI, introduced to the world ChatGPT. So this is the exact post that Greg posted when they introduced ChatGPT. OpenAI is not a new company. It's been a while, been founded since 2015. But on December 2021, for the first time, everyone was given the access to their own personal AI helper. So when they try the ChatGPT, they feel like something in the future, something that they can talk to, something can have a lot of knowledge, can give a good response, and that took a world by storm, right? So we know that what happened since then. In 5 days, ChatGPT reached 1 million users. So that is the fastest app that be able to get 1 million users within short period of time at that time. So people was really shocked, people were amazed of what ChatGPT can do. So and people talk about it, and then the rest is history, right? We are using ChatGPT, we're using AI on a daily basis now. So and since then, many more AI tool has been available. We have access to a lot more AI tool, right? Building graphic, building videos, music. And today specifically, we want to talk on how AI can help us in strategic planning. So specifically, I'll be using a lot of ChatGPT. There's an OpenAI product. Specifically, I use GPT-4. So that is the paid version of ChatGPT. But you can also, if you don't have access to the paid version of ChatGPT, you can use the free version, which is GPT 3.5. That's fine. But if you more familiar with Google, there's another option as well. By Google, it's called Bard, introduced slightly few months after ChatGPT was launched. One good thing about Bard is because it's built in the Google ecosystems. A lot of like the Google tools that you are already familiar with, like Google Drive or your Google spreadsheet or your Google Slides or your Google Docs, you can already have Bard built in it. So you can, if you want to write anything in Google Doc, you can ask the AI and it can produce a piece of content for you. So that is Google, right? With Bard. Another good benefit of using Bard is because Google own YouTube, right? So you know that YouTube is massive. Basically, if you want to learn anything, you just go to YouTube, you search in YouTube, be able to get an answer. And since Google have access to YouTube, Bard have access to YouTube, you can search anything about any video in Bard, be able to get you very good information. So that's Bard. The last tool that I want to share with you is the one that introduced by Microsoft. It's fairly new. It's called Copilot. So previously it was called Bing Search. It's been rebranded to Copilot. Copilot built with the same model as GPT-4. So what good thing about Copilot? It looks and behaves almost similar to ChatGPT. However, at the moment, Copilot is free. You'll be able to use GPT-4 for free in Copilots. So that is like the tool. Whatever tool that you use, I prefer ChatGPT because I'm more familiar. I like the UI, I like the output. So if you want to use Bard or Copilot, it's up to you. Okay, but for the demo today, I will be using a lot of ChatGPT. Okay. So before we go further, I just want to cover a little bit more on some buzzword in AI. We'll be talking about this buzzword a lot, and today I will talk about this buzzword as well. The first one is AI itself, artificial intelligence. What is AI? So the most simplistic way to understand what AI is, it is a smart set of program that have access to ton of data. They can do their own learning on the data. They can generate output based on their understanding of that data. So that's the AI. So basically, just smart computer programming. Okay, that have a lot of access to data. And then the second buzzword is NLP, natural language processing. What NLP is, all this while we only be able to talk to any piece of program using computer code, using coding, right? So, but now with NLP, it added additional layer so that this program can understand human language, English, Spanish, Chinese language, and any language that you speak, be able to talk with this using NLP. So you can communicate with them, right? So for example, previously you'll be able to talk to your Alexa or Siri. That's NLP. You'll be able to talk, they understand you, be able to take that input, process it in, and give you output to you. The next buzzword is LLM. So LLM stands for large language model. So basically, there's a program model that has been trained with large set of data, billion or trillion even. GPT-3, for example, have about 175 billion parameter. GPT-4 about 1.5 trillion, but 1.6 trillion. So when I talk about parameter, this piece of information, piece of knowledge that can be a website, a book, or PDF, research paper, songs, movie, script, anything. So all this transform into text, be able to be used to train the AI, the large language model. So this is usually when we talk about AI, there's a common buzzword that we use. We're talking about GPT just now. What is GPT, right? So GPT is basically a piece of program that be able to cleverly manage data. So there are a lot of data. So GPT be able to manage this data well. GPT stands for G for generative. So be able to generate a new piece of data on its own. P is pre-trained. So they train with a lot of data, like billion or trillion piece of data I mentioned just now. And T is transformer. So they're programmed to organize this and process this data. The NLP is part of transformer as well. So what GPT can do? So we're talking about GPT, we're talking about AI, right? So what GPT can do? Previously, when we want to search for anything, we go to Google, we go to Bing, right? So GPT can do that. GPT can search for any answers, but searching for answers, we've been using that for many, many years. We already been Google for many, many years. So nothing new about search answers. But what GPT can do, you not only can search for answer, you can talk to your answers. You can ask again. You can go deep into finding the right answer that you're looking for. You can brainstorm the idea. Not only you ask for answer, you can discuss. It's like a sounding board where you can talk to AI, to GPT, and then can give you advice. Any advice, GPT AI been trained with a lot of piece of information. You can give you advice, and they can give you advice in a lot of creative way. You can write song, you can write poem, because GPT already read like ton of these classic works or song or poem, right? So not only that, GPT can also create content, create original content in form of like books or blog posts or even images, right? So they can create content. And then you can learn new things with GPT. So it's like your own personal tutor. You can ask you something and then they will give you a certain bit of information, and then you can ask again and you can learn together with GPT. And next, you can also be able to translate any language, because GPT is trained in any language. So you can ask in any language, be able to understand you, to answer back in that language. GPT can also analyze data sets. Now you can upload your PDF, you can upload your spreadsheet, be able to understand those piece of data and be able to do the analyze for it. And much more. I mean, GPT can do a lot of things, but specifically today, we want to use GPT, we want to use the AI to help us with our business strategy. So that is the focus for today's discussion, how we use AI to help us with business strategy. So when we talk about business strategy, right, usually we can put into three main buckets. So this is any strategy, right? So first bucket is research. When you were assigned to do something, you want to plan for strategy, you always start with your research. You need to understand more on the topic that you want to plan, right? So you need to input your specific piece of information. Then the second bucket is analysis, right? Once you research, you need to process the information. You need to go deep, understand, look at every angle before you come up with the production. So this like you need to get informed to make an informed decision so that you can come up with the best output. So in any strategic planning, it always goes to these three buckets: research, analyze, and then also do production. So from the simple things, like for example, you ask, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight, right? So you research what restaurant is around you, and then you do some analyze, what food I would like to eat, what food that my friend like to eat, what restriction of diet they have, right? So you do a lot of analysis, and then you compare with your research, and then you decide where do you want to go for dinner, and then you make a reservation and you go eat at that place, right? So that's how you make a strategic planning. So from a simple dinner, find a place to eat, to like a big plan for your company, for your operation, right? So that is how, in general, how we do strategic planning. And the good news is, in every bucket, research, analysis, and production, we can use AI to boost our strategic planning. We can use AI to boost our research. We can use AI to boost our analysis. We can also use AI to boost the productions. I give you one example. We go to in deep on each of this. When we talk about research, previously we always start with searching, right? But now with AI, we're no longer just searching, but we are learning new things. So traditionally, when we do research, we always start with the keyword. We search for a certain keyword. When we got a keyword, and then we ask again, usually with a simple one-line question, right? So, and then when we get the answers, usually we look at the search result, usually the output top rank content. We take like the top 3 or top 5. We never go to beyond like page 2 or page 3, right? Usually the learning is only on the top result from our search. And the problem with that, right? The top rank prioritized by traffic. It's not really prioritized by what relevant to you. The most content that people goes, the most content that people click, that is the more likely answer given to you. But that maybe not really relevant to you, right? In whatever that you are searching. But now with AI, we can boost our research, can ask like very detailed, can ask nuanced questions, very sophisticated, detailed questions, so that we can go understand the topic very deep. So we can learning instead of just searching. So we can give our context, we can put a specific information in our searching, so that we can get better answers. So it's a two-way discussion. We can go deep. We can ask the AI again if they whenever that they give a result. We can ask, re-ask, and we can verify. We can fact check. So it's continuous learning in that part with AI boosted search. So in general, with AI, right? So whenever that we do research, we can be able to learn anything about an industry. This is what I like the most about doing research with AI. I give you one example here, right? I mentioned just now I am in EdTech, education tech, and I'm currently operate in Southeast Asia. I want to expand, right? So first thing that I think is I want to expand to Australia. So I do traditionally how I can do that. I just go to Google, search EdTech industry in Australia. So usually this is the output been given, right? So I mentioned that how many people working in that domain, and then the revenue, general revenue. So yeah, it's good piece of information, but that not really help me in understanding more about the industry in Australia. But with AI, for example, I can ask very specific, right? So let me give you example. So this from ChatGPT. I can form my question into very detailed question. Like I give a context first, right? I mentioned here, I task to advise education tech company in Southeast Asia. I give the persona as if I'm a consultant trying to find the answer, right? So I give that persona to AI, and then I mention what the company want to do to expand to Australia. I mentioned that I don't know anything about the market. I need all the information so that I can tell the CEO of the company. So I specifically mentioned what piece of information that I want, like size, market growth, industry, who's the top player, and then typically the profitability of similar company. I give a bit more detail there, and then I ask them to come up with a bullet point. So it's very uh, simple way that I can learn on when I do the research with AI. So GPT be able to come up with a good answers, mention about the market size, who's the top player. Of course, I can like go deep and understand more. If, for example, if I want to know about the top player, I can ask what is this company, and then I can continue until I fully understand about that topic. So that's how with AI now, we be able to do research better. So that's one part of strategic planning, doing research. Not only that, when I talk about learning with AI, one good thing is that we can learn any complex concept in a simple term. Usually, in traditionally, when we want to do searching on very complex terminology, example, traditional research, I just go to Google. I want to learn about Socrates method, right? I put the term here, and then they come up with the most common answers that they think that people may relevant, right? So it mentioned here Socratic method is a dialogue between teacher and student. So yeah. So yeah, it's give some piece of information, but I not fully understand what is this method. But with AI, for example, I can give some context. I told the AI here, I want to develop AI tutor. So kind of like ChatGPT, right? But to teach people to learn in my educational app. So I understand that Socratic method can be used to train an AI tutor. So I give a context here. So I give the persona who are looking for this piece of information and what the information is for. And then I ask them to explain very simple, as if to explain to a 15 years old. So ChatGPT be able to come up with all those information. So, for example, they mentioned about a very simple term like how Socratic methods work, from asking question, thinking deeply. It's very easy to understand. And of course, I can go deep and asking a bit more. Ask for example, make some comparison on, and we can only do that with AI now. Okay, so that's how we do research. So that's the first bucket, the research. And then when we move to the next bucket, when we get our information, how we can do the analysis, right? So previously with traditional analysis, it's very limited. It's based on your own time, based on your resource. So it's very limited. It's based on your individual brain power. We human get tired sometimes, right? So at time we tired, our analysis maybe get affected. So but with AI, so there's no longer restriction like this. So there's unlimited new ideas. We can ask at different angle. We can ask a lot of things, right? And then we can think AI as our thinking companion. So it can help us assist us in reasoning, right? So not only we can ask them, we can use our own brain power. So we have like spare brain power that powered by AI on the side when we do the analysis. So that's how we'll be able to use AI to improve our analysis. And then now, the newer tools, AI tools, they have a code interpreter. So what code interpreter can do is you can upload any Excel file, you can upload any PDF file, you can upload anything, and the AI be able to understand, analyze it, give some insight, and do the thinking for you. So that's how we do analysis with AI boosted. Okay, the last part of the strategic planning is production. Of course, previously, whenever that we already have our decision, we need to come up with email, for example, you need to done it manually. Whenever that we have to create a report, whenever that we have to create a slide, anything we need to be able, we need to make do it manually, step by step. But of course, with AI now, there's a lot of tools. There's text to image, text to video, text to slide, text to anything that you can imagine. We'll be able to create, produce the output with AI. So that's how AI can help in general, how AI can improve our strategic planning from the production, from the research and analysis, and also production. Specifically today, we want to explore not only the strategic planning, but how it can transform into OKR drafting. So I want to ask the AI how AI can help me to draft OKR to overcome declining revenue. So this is what I want, and how I can ask the AI. So we'll talk more about prompting. So for example, this is how people usually use ChatGPT or people use AI, right? So you just ask a single line question. I give you, for example, here, I ask a question, our company revenue is declining. I give some context. Help me draft OKR to fix this. So it's very straightforward question. Of course, ChatGPT be able to answer. You can give objective and key result. However, when we go look at the key result, it's not really helpful. It's very generic. It's not really reflects to what we are trying to achieve here. So that is because we are using a very simple prompt. Most people use this. How most people use AI. This how most people use ChatGPT. If the main takeaway that you have to take about from today webinar is this is not the way you should use AI. So you need to be able to write a good prompt, right? So you need to be able to write a lengthy prompt. I give you an example here. Instead of just one line asking how can create OKR for my declining revenue problem, I give some context. I first say that I give the persona as an experienced management consultant who work with these top four, right? PwC, Deloitte, EY, and also KPMG. So I give them the persona. So when I give the persona, I give my statement. So you're tasked to with a new client, a problem statement, where the client is at tech company facing decline revenue after COVID-19. So that's the scenario. So that's the context here, and the company is looking for strategy to increase the revenue. So the main goal, the main outcome from this OKR is the increased revenue. And then I give some data here, the market condition. And then at the end, I specifically mentioned, please help to create a company level OKR that support this strategy. So by putting more effort in writing a good prompt, ChatGPT be able to come up with like better 180 improvement in terms of the result, right? So you can see here, can mention one objective to maximize revenue and profitability, specifically in edtech space. And the key result suggestion is very good. Like for example, as you mentioned about CLV, I also mentioned some strategy that we can go with this key result. Mentioned here about cross-selling and upselling, and then give some numbers and some strategy. Mentioned here about CAC. I didn't specifically mention my current CAC. If you want to be more specific, maybe after this, I can put in this piece of information as data as well. Currently, what's my CAC? What's my target CAC? I can put in the prompt. So, and then it gives some implementation plan. And of course, this not stop here. You can continue asking further questions. So you can see right away the difference between simple prompt and good prompt, and how by changing few words, putting more piece of information, we get like way better output, and that is the goal. That's what we want to do when we're planning our OKR with AI tool like GPT. So the question here, why we need to have a detailed prompt? I mentioned that AI is very powerful. We do because it's already very powerful, why we need to add like a long prompt, right? So because yeah, they can think on their own, right? Why we need to assist them? The reason why we need to ask a detailed prompt is because of this person. So this person, if you know who is this person, so basically, this person is like an intern, right? So I give you a reason why. So we treat our AI is like an intern, an intern that is like very genius. So they know a lot of things. They read a lot of good business books. They memorize Wikipedia. They have multiple master degree, and they're very talented. So we treat our AI as like an intern. However, whenever we ask intern, they can only give answers specifically based on your questions. So if you ask simple thing, they answer simple thing. So that's this how we need to train our AI. We need to be able to ask like very specific questions so that our intern, in this case our AI, be able to provide you a better result. So that's why it's very important. If you ever heard garbage in, garbage out. So yeah, that's exactly it, right? So we need to be able to ask the right question to get the right answer. So if we give like poor instruction to the intern, the intern may screw it up. In this case, AI won't screw that up, but yeah, they will give like a poor result, not what we expected. So in AI, that's differentiate between the good output and the bad output. So the input, how you ask, how you prompt, is very much determine how the result can be. So uh, to make things simple, there's a lot of way that you can improve your prompt. So, but for starter, I would like to share with you this my simple formula when I writing a prompt. Of course, as you go along, as you get more experience, you can use different technique. Even in OpenAI, they already list like the best practice on how you can prompt your formula. But this is for start, right? So instead of just writing one line, if you keep using this formula, you'll be able to get a better result. So simple formula, you just need to remember this four thing. Whenever that you prompt, you need to put context, and then you ask, and then you give some data or example depending on what the questions, and then you give some instructions. So I give you a specific detail, right? So when we talk about context, why we need to have context? So the reason why LLM already have like brilliant, a trillion context, they know everything, right? But because of they know everything, it's very hard to them to know that which piece of information is most suitable for you. So that's why you need to narrow down your search to be able to find the right information that more relevant to you. In this case, I give some context. So I mentioned that I want you to give a persona. So that is my context in this. I give them a persona. You need to act as a management consultant who work with this wonderful firm. So they know that, okay, they already know how people in this company produce a result, right? So they can use that as guidance. So they narrow down their context. And then I give them a task. The second part is to give them a task. Here I mentioned you are tasked with a client problem. So here's I need to be very detailed on the scenario. What I want the AI to do, right? So I mentioned that I put the backstory, the company that need this piece of information, why, what, and then and what they're looking for. That's the second part, task. And then next, I need to be able to give data example. So give specific data. This insight that OpenAI or ChatGPT or BART or Copilot don't know, right? So they don't have this piece of information. You need to give your own information. So the example that I give you, I mentioned about my company, for the tech company. I mentioned about the current market condition. I also mentioned about what happening, decrease in the purchase. So this some information that we need. The more information that we give, the more detailed, the more accurate result we can produce. The last part is we need to also put some instructions. So, and then with this, we're able to get exactly as what we want. So this is the full example: contact, task, data, example, and instructions. So if you look again at this example, so this is the output. So it's really a huge difference between a simple prompt and very elaborate prompt like this. Okay, so that is prompting. So and that is set you from not so good result and the very best result in AI. So of course, you can improve further your output. You can ask chain prompting, right? You can ask further, you can go back and then you can deep dive asking the AI about the result. You can modify, you can ask, put more data in, ask them to redo, regenerate. And of course, you can do refinement, you can do fact check. Sometimes AI do make mistake. You can ask them again, is it correct? And then ask them to redo the output. Of course, the first time you do this, it will take longer. You need to try and error until you get the right prompt, and then once you have the right prompt, you can use it over and over again. So yeah, that's how you use AI and be able to generate a very good OKR, right? So another thing that I want to share with you, right? So we at OKR Institute, we want to be like the frontliner in OKR implementations, and because of that, we already pre-train our survey with the good practice, with the OKR resources that we have, all the best practice that we have from all the coaches to help you in your OKR drafting and review. There's few tools that we have available in OKR Institute that can help you in OKR drafting, key result drafting, and OKR action drafting. Quickly, if you go to OKR Institute, you already can see this. So this part help you in general generate your OKR. So if you click generate, it will bring you to page like this where you can specify your OKR type and then put some focus and then generate the result. So this like for first timer, that's good for you to get to know OKR, but to be frank, it's not really fine tuned to your need, right? So what we have further is within the OKR software itself in OKR Institute. If you go down here, there's OKR software. If you click that, you'll be able to see the tool we call OKRI. So OKRI is a OKR management tool. In it, we already built in a lot of AI tool. Like for example, we have OKR draft editor where whenever that you see this purple icon, meaning that you can be able to generate any piece of information with AI. In this case, I want to generate objective like this to focus similar to the example. And we click generate and you'll be able to generate the objective, and you can generate the key result and can go on and on and on. So that's your editor. Of course, you can save this, play around with your friends, with your colleague, and once you're ready, then you create your OKR. So if you go to the tool itself, right? So this is how OKRI looks like. This is an example of my company. We use OKRI to manage our OKR. So this is our current OKRs. So there's four objectives we are currently working on. Let me refresh this page. So in any of this area, I mean, this is very easy to use too. You can drag and drop. You can create objective, create OKR, right? So here, for example, I want to create an objective, a key result for this objective. You can also use AI to generate key result, right? So the objective is to increase revenue. If I click here, it will try to see whatever the available based on the context of the existing company, and then we try to generate suitable key result related to that objective. So it's thinking here. So that's the idea. In OKRI, there's a lot of tools. that we already pre-trained with good prompt and AI, so be able to help you to create key result, create objective, and be able to deliver draft your OKR better. So it takes a bit more time. Give you an example here. Okay, so another thing here that we have, if you go to any of the OKR, so let me go edit this key result, be able to also use AI to generate like task related action plan related to this objective. I click here, be able to generate the action plan. For example, I want to get of premium subscribers. So this is the action plan that been then suggested to me. Of course, I can look this and make refinement as I go along. So another tool that we have, simple tool, is we be able to write a review of this objective. We can check any objective and key result. Click here to audit with AI, and then they will go through, read the objective and key result, be able to come with recommendation. So here you can see review individually the key result and objective, how we can improve further, give some recommendation on how we can improve. So that's how we use AI in OKRI. It's up to you. If you this OKRI is free, you can use it in your team. Feel free to explore the OKR part, the AI part in OKRI. So last from me, AI, is it a friend or is it a foe? So is it a friend or is it an enemy, right? So I've been talking a lot earlier. So far, it's a friend because it can help us analyze large amount of data. It can help us identify pattern and trends, generate insight and recommendation. So it's all good, right? So it can help us in terms of our strategic planning. But it can also be a foe, right? So it can be a enemy to us because sometimes we make mistake. So we need to know that whenever they make mistake, we need to identify them quickly and then tell them that you're doing mistake, right? But AI also, as AI advance, it can replace a lot of routine works and a lot of consultant and strategy will be impacted. Strategies will be impacted. So what we can do here, I believe that AI won't replace us, but people who know AI will replace us. So if we don't equip ourselves with AI, soon new consultant, new strategists come and they will replace us, right? So that's why it's very important for us to equip ourselves with the AI knowledge, right? So because there is a reduction of job and shift to automated and AI-driven business strategy, and we need to be able to position ourselves. We know the domain will be able to contribute and be able to 10x our performance with AI. So if you know how to use AI right, you can 10x can be a 10x version of yourself. So now the power is within you, is available. It's only up to you how you to use it right. I think that's all from my part. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will stop my presentation now.
Thank you so much, Akmal, for your valuable insights. Before we hand over to the last speaker of today, we'd just like to remind everybody that there's a 10-minute Q&A right at the end, so please don't go anywhere. Our next speaker, Wolfgang Sturm. He is a proud new team member of the OKR Institute. He is the head of sales and business development for the OKR Institute for his region. And he has personally deployed OKR since 2010 in all his businesses. He is highly skilled at design thinking, business analytics, and OKR coaching. And his two businesses, Muveki and Nine Beaufort. Nine Beaufort is a business consultancy that also deploys OKRs. Over to you, Wolfgang. Wolfgang, you're on mute.
Sorry. First of all, Akmal, thank you for your great insights into how I AI works and the importance of the right prompts. We have now reached the third point of today's webinar. As Dirk said, my name is Wolfgang Sturm. I'm head of business development DACH. DACH are the German-speaking countries, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'd like to welcome everyone to the webinar. Many thanks to Dirk for your very friendly introduction. Let's start with the OKR and IE experience. So, the experiences are based on my old workplace simplicity. So, where we became the market leader in women's clothing and store area systems with the help of OKRs, as well as the experience of implementation in various organizations in the recent years. A short introduction to OKR implementation in my fashion agency. In 2015, as we start, as Dirk said, 2010 with the first OKRs, but in 2015 we embarked on our journey with OKRs to make our business objectives clearer and more effective. This was a new venture for us, stepping into a more structured approach to goal setting and performance measurement. Our aim was to align every team's efforts with the company's strategic direction. Without IE support, the process of formulating OKRs was time-consuming and challenging, but we had access to robust data that helped us. This solid database should be of great use to us later when we introduce further IE tools, the OKR. Back then, the manual analysis of this data required significant effort and dedication from our team. It was a meticulous process, but it laid a solid foundation for understanding and effective goal setting. The key challenge was to effectively use this data to develop meaningful and achievable OKRs. We had to ensure that the goals we set were not only ambitious, but also grounded in the reality of our data insights. This phase taught us the importance of balancing aspiration with attainable targets, a principle that continues to guide us today. So, transforming through the AI integration. By introducing AI to our OKR process, we have seen a significant acceleration and increase in efficiency. For me, it was a game changer, allowing us to process complex data sets in a fraction of the time it used to take. I not only sped up the process, but also brought a level of precision to our OKRs that was previously unattainable. AI enabled us to quickly access analyzing company data and roll out consistent OKRs across the entire company. It was like having a powerful assistant that could instantly highlight key trends and patterns relevant to our goals. This compatibility allowed us to ensure uniformity in our objectives, aligning every department's efforts with our overall strategy. Despite automation through AI, human decision-making remained central to ensure the goals and both personality and corporality relevant and realistic. We maintained a balance, using AI as a tool to inform and guide us, but not to dictate our strategies. This approach ensured that the heart of our goal-setting process remained human-centric, reflecting both our company's culture and the individual team dynamics. The interplay of AI and human influences. AI is a support tool, not as a replacement for human guidance and insights. This approach allowed us to leverage the analytical strength of AI while retaining the essential human element of decision-making. It's about augmenting, not replacing, the human touch in our strategic planning. A team adjusts the AI suggestion OKRs to better account for specific customer needs and market trends. For instance, our design team was able to refine their goals and to focus more on sustainable materials, a direction highlighted by both AI analysis and the customer feedback. This kind of adjustment ensures that our OKRs are not only data-driven, but also closely aligned with our market and ethical values. The combination of AI recommendations and human judgment leads to more balanced and realistic OKRs. It creates a dynamic where AI provides the data-backed suggestion, and our team members bring their insights and experience to fine-tune these objectives. This synergy results in OKRs that are ambitious yet grounded and innovative yet achievable. Yeah, and the impact of pure data on OKR formulation, the correctly formulated prompt, as Akmal impressively described earlier, is one point. The current database is particularly important in order to set the correct prompt. Data quality is crucial. Poor data can lead to irrelevant or unrealistic OKR. Inaccurate data sets can misguide the direction of our goals, leading us away from true business priorities. It's like navigating with an outdated map. You won't end up where you need to be. Example. Once outdated sales data led to an excessively high sales target, which demotivated the team and led to frustration. This experience in my new company was a wake-up call for me, for us to regularly update and validate our data sources, ensuring data relevance become as important as setting the goals themselves. I had mistakenly relied on the figures, as I was used to always having the latest and most updated figures available from my old employer, Simplicity. We place great emphasis and continuously updating and reviewing our data sources to ensure the accuracy and relevance of our AI-supported OKRs. This ongoing process of data maintenance is crucial for keeping our objectives aligned with the current market realities. It's a commitment to quality and relevance that underpins the integrity of our entire OKR system. Yeah, to conclude, I'd like to share some key thoughts with you. Implementing OKRs and AI in our fashion agency has not just improved our efficiency and accurate in goal setting, but also taught us valuable lessons about the importance in data quality and human insights. AI has significantly simplified the process of creating OKRs. As we can see at OKR.io, as Akmal showed, it's quite simple to draft the OKRs with the system. But it's crucial to remember the importance of human leadership in this process. Our experience shows that the balanced combination of AI and human judgment is essential for the success. So AI is not an enemy, it's a friend. Yeah, I'm now looking forward to your questions. Akmal will support us with the technical expertise while I can provide insights from my experience as an entrepreneur. Let's explore together how we can best employ this technology to achieve our goals. I will now hand back to Dirk, who will guide us to the Q&A. So now I have to check how to do it. So yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Wolfgang, for your valuable insights and providing us with case studies. Would now love to open the floor for your questions. You can either express them verbally or put them in the chat, up to you. We'll allow 10 minutes for a Q&A.
I just want to answer one of the question in chat. The question is there such a risk related to exposing such information? Yes, of course, there's a risk. I think the best is for you not to, if you, for example, you upload the data, piece of data, you need to manage the piece of information with cautious. You can actually hide the name or hide the exact numbers so that your private information is not being disclosed to the AI. So we don't know yet to what extent that the data being used to train. But when you look at the policy, where we look at the term and condition, the data that we upload belong to us. But we need to just be more careful whenever that we upload any piece of information. When we talk specific, we can replace like very private data to something like very vague. That's my take on that question.
Akmal, we have another question in the chat specific for OKR. Can you recommend ChatGPT or Bard?
Okay. Actually, it's based on your preference, right? So for me, I use ChatGPT. I already know. I mean, ChatGPT use the model called GPT-4, right? So it's trained with certain piece of information. But now they use a new model called Gemini. So it's still new model. So the best is you test both. I test both. I find the result is more to my liking when I using ChatGPT. So, but that's because I use GPT-4 and so far I think it outperform in terms of the result between ChatGPT and Bard. But I think it's up to you and if you be able to ask specific question, maybe because I already know how to ask question in ChatGPT, so I'll be able to get a better answer in ChatGPT. But it's actually based on how you prompt it. If you familiar with how to prompt with Bard and you get familiar in the output, you can. I think Bard can also give a equally good result as well.
Thank you so much for your question, Patrick. Any other questions? More than welcome. We just love questions. More than welcome to put any questions in the chat.
I can answer a question from Patrick here. When executing OKR, we experience sometimes hidden overlapping OKR. So even when we consider MISI model when crafting OKR, we still notice during check-in, after a while that overlapping exists. And did anyone here train AI to check OKR and MISI characteristic? Is there a default prompt you can use for this? When I talk about when people ask me for a default prompt, right? So usually I don't like really encourage to use any like one prompt that fit all. So usually it's based on the company, based on your operation and based how you culture of the company. So later on I can share you some prompt that I use. Just now I also show some prompt. But to answer you, overlapping that's quite easy for OKR for AI to detect it. You can export all your OKR within Teams into one piece of PDF or words, and then you can just ask AI to detect any overlapping, and also you can ask specifically to use MISI models, right? So That's this, you can do that. So I think AI know what messy model looks like, and then they can also be able to detect, do analysis across multiple OKR from multiple team, and we can detect which one is overlapping. I think you can experience, you can test that. To be specific, I didn't train on these use cases, but I believe it can be done. A generic prompt script, perhaps. The example that I showed just now, with four step, context, and also data, example, and instructions. So I can just paste the prompt that I use here in chat. You can use that prompt and use that as basis for you to experimenting on your, to get the best prompt that you can further expand. Let me drop that in message. Or I can also give you this link. Okay, I just give you this link. If you open that link, it will open to my public OpenAI example. So you can use that piece of prompting as a base on your prompt.
Any more questions? More than welcome. We're nearing the end. We have we can allow for 1 or 2 minutes more. Any questions? More than welcome. Going, gone. I would love to thank everybody for attending. Thank you for making this possible, and thank you to our two very eloquent speakers for today. Thank you for providing all the valuable insights. And I see everybody is thanking both Wolfgang and Akmal. But a great thank you to you for your attendance. We'll keep in touch with you on our next webinar, and have a great week further.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care.